A doctor in Raleigh, North Carolina, who is also a well-known Democrat Party activist, previously donated to campaigns of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and was appointed by the state's Democrat governor to lead the COVID response in Durham County, was indicted last week over a $46 million Medicare fraud scheme. An article at DJHJ Media by Carrie Donovan with the headline Massive Corruption, $46 million Medicare Fraud, Democrat North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper and his Democrat activist. They say Cooper placed a known Democrat activist, Anita Jackson, who has been involved with many schemes and frauds to run part of the state's COVID response, while North Carolina citizens are locked down and under restraint in their daily lives. This should be investigated. According to previously leaked DNC documents released by WikiLeaks, Anita Jackson was one of two North Carolina women who provided significant donations and fundraising support for the Democrat National Committee and Hillary Clinton, who were then named as potential appointments to federal boards and commissions. This caused some to ask whether Clinton federal appointments were being used as a device to raise funds. This 2016 article also adds how records compiled by the Center for Responsive Politics show that Dr. Anita Jackson has donated tens of thousands of dollars to Democrat campaigns since the late 90s, including over $72,000 to the DNC, $38,000 of that for the 2016 election cycle, and $2,700 to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Past contributions include $7,000 to Barack Obama for his two White House runs, and $1,000 to Al Sharpton for his 2004 pursuit of the presidency. Again, they also point out concerns about Jackson long before this most recent indictment and before she was appointed by the state's Democrat governor to lead Durham County's COVID response. Jackson had already been the target of a 2005 lawsuit brought by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina that alleges she overcharged millions of dollars for services through medical claims. On her LinkedIn profile, Dr. Anita Jackson says that she plays an integral role in leading the COVID response of the largest, most diverse county in the state of North Carolina. As the first African-American female board-certified otolaryngologist/ENT surgeon in the state, she is a subject matter expert on COVID testing. It's a recent article on this from ABC 11 that opens saying a doctor who helped lead the COVID-19 response for the Durham County Health Department has been indicted by a federal grand jury after an investigation of her private practice. Dr. Anita Jackson lives in Raleigh's Briar Creek. They say her offices are in more rural parts of the state, which may have been a red flag for federal investigators. The question, how did Jackson become the nation's top paid provider of a special sinus relief procedure when she doesn't practice near any major metropolitan areas? Federal prosecutors say the answer is fraud. This article posted on Thursday continues saying a federal grand jury handed up a 20-count indictment charging Jackson in a massive Medicare fraud scheme. Federal prosecutors allege between 2014 and 2018, Jackson used her practices to bill Medicare for more than $46 million. The indictment says Jackson's practice generated more than $5.4 million. Jackson allegedly billed Medicare for performing more than 1,200 balloon sinuplasties. This is a procedure to treat chronic sinus infection where a balloon is inflated in the patient's nasal passages to increase airflow and drainage. The device is supposed to be a single-use device, but prosecutors say that Jackson racked up profits by reusing it multiple times on multiple patients without telling them. The indictment also alleges Jackson deceived her patients, convincing them they owed little to no insurance copay so that Jackson could bill Medicare the full amount and make millions. Prosecutors say Jackson tried to hide the scheme by falsifying billing records. Once again, they note Jackson's resume on LinkedIn says she played an integral role in Durham County's COVID-19 response, citing an Ivy League education with degrees from Harvard, Princeton, and Stanford. She was medical and laboratory director at Durham County Department of Public Health. She was also one of Governor Roy Cooper's appointees to the North Carolina Medical Care Commission. ABC 11 spoke to Jackson's attorney on the phone Thursday. He called the charges bogus and an evil prosecutorial indictment. Finally, ABC 11 says a spokesperson for Durham County said that Jackson is not a current employee at the Department of Public Health. They say they've not heard back from the state's Medical Care Commission on whether Jackson still holds her seat on the panel. Jackson is charged with adulteration of medical devices, 10 counts of paying illegal remunerations, 3 counts of making false statements relating to healthcare benefits, 2 counts of aggravated identity theft, 3 counts of mail fraud, and conspiracy. If convicted, she faces a maximum term of imprisonment of 20 years for mail fraud and up to 10 years on other charges. Jackson also faces fines exceeding $250,000. Dr. Anita Jackson was also part of a big pharma-funded pro-vaccine media campaign targeting college students. Big pharma marketers are spearheading this group Face to Face America, which launched in April and netted over $1.6 million in donated media inventory. Here you can see Dr. Anita Jackson featured in one of the ad campaigns from Face to Face America. Face to Face America says that they are employing people like Dr. Anita Jackson as so-called trusted voices to convince people who are hesitant about the vaccine. They say employed trusted voices and leverage storytelling. Face to Face's content includes diverse representation like Dr. Anita Jackson, medical director for North Carolina's Durham County Public Health, and a trusted voice within the Black community, with the campaign employing more speakers who can appeal directly to the wait-and-see crowd. Jackson is also on the front line of dealing with hesitancy.
So if you were a wait-and-seer, the first thing I would do would be to ask you what were your concerns about the vaccine. And then I would certainly share a couple of personal experiences with you. For instance, there would be people that would still be here if they had the vaccine.
Finally, an update from yesterday says that Durham County is now investigating Jackson after the federal indictment. They say Durham County officials only learned of the indictment when they read about it in the newspaper. A quote says, "The recent U.S. Department of Justice federal indictment against Dr. Jackson has triggered an internal audit investigation to evaluate activities that occurred during her contract period." Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, remember to click the like button, that's greatly appreciated. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Once again, with all the censorship happening here at YouTube, I'll remind everyone it might be a good idea to find me on some alternative platforms as well. One place where you can find me is superu.net. If you search for Kip Simpson at superu, that's super, the letter u.net. You can also find me at odyssey.com. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.